Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've done a current events read, anything political. Obviously, back when Trump and the election was going on, I did a lot. I was continually doing those and stuff. And there's a lot going on. Let me pull up my phone here because I've got a few things I'm going to touch on here. One of the main things I was debating if I wanted to kind of get into it, but at the same time, I know people kind of want to know the Russia and Ukraine thing that's going on. I have yet to throw cards down on it. I'm going to put some cards down on it and see what Spirit has to say about that. I know a lot of people are worried about that and everything, what could happen with that and everything. That's a little bit nerve-wracking. So maybe Spirit can give me a little bit of a message, especially to you guys there. But always when you see things like this going on, and this is a big thing right now. This is a big thing. But they've always had some kind of problem. There's always been problem Russia, Ukraine, or there's this, that. But, when you see things like this go on, just remember God's in charge. Remember Spirit's in control. They got the upper hand always and stuff. I know we don't want to go through any kind of drama. We got enough problems in the U.S. as it is, with this COVID stuff going on and the inflation. I'm going to look a little bit into that, some message of the U.S. I'm going to try to hit on a lot of things. But we're going to look at that. I also want to look at the Ottawa truckers. For those who are kind of interested in what's going to happen with that. Now, this is kind of my thing. I'm all for people protesting, for a cause. Obviously, peaceful protest is great, but blocking businesses with, trucks and everything. And that's what I was just reading. Like other businesses are being hurt by this. They can't, run businesses, and that's hurting them. And those are the innocent guys. So that's not really fair. So they're probably taking it a little too far. So we'll kind of see about that. There's some other things. Queen Elizabeth apparently tested positive for COVID. It looks like that was just in earlier Sunday. I think we're into Monday now, right? I think it's Monday now. And so far it says is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. Hopefully we all wish her well, that she will be fine and everything, but she's getting up there. I don't know if I'll be able to see that. Apparently Justin Bieber, he also tested positive for COVID and shut down one of his concerts. So yeah, let's get to it and everything, kind of some of the messages of Spirit. But I know that a lot of you guys are kind of worried about, what's kind of going on with, the Russia-Ukraine. And it is possible that Biden and Putin may meet this week. I did see an article on that. Let me see if I can find that to make sure I'm not losing my mind here. Yeah, I was looking at, hold on. Let me see if I can find exactly. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to look at the cover of it. But that's something I want to inquire on. Hopefully they can have a meeting of the minds. But it would just be absolute disaster. I don't know if I can find it now. Oh my God, there's so many things that are going on. It seems like crime is increasing, things that are happening, even just in my area. There's been, there's heightened crime, just kind of in various ways. There it is. President Biden has agreed in principle, that's in quotes, to a meeting with Vladimir Putin as long as Russia does not further invade Ukraine. And of course, we don't want that to happen. So it looks like he's agreeing to a meeting. So that's all it says. So we don't know if they will. He's just agreed to it. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. What Spirit has to say. So we're going to look first at, I know Russia, that's the big one y'all want to know about and everything. What we got to kind of brace ourselves for. And I'm a little nervous about this too. But just remember, God is in charge. That's the thing. God is in charge. God is in control. I usually thought that's pretty good about looking at stuff. Okay, here we go. Cut it right there. Woo! I just felt hot for a minute as I was doing this. Okay, let's see. The very first card is Six of Cups. In this deck, it's called the Pleasure card. Okay, it's called the Pleasure card. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. I've got kind of bright light on here. The very first thought when I see this card kind of makes me feel, okay, that Putin is enjoying, he enjoys what's going on right now. He likes putting everybody on edge. Okay? There's something in the man, having everybody, on the edge. Obviously wants to put the Ukraine on edge by surrounding him. Okay, but even have people, to the point, like the U.S. concerned and things like that. This man does not have any fear. It's kind of what I'm tuning in here. He is not afraid. Okay, he feels very confident in what he's got going on military wise. Okay, and he feels he's like a master on the chessboard. Okay, so he's not really afraid of anyone. And I really think he kind of feels, he knows that the U.S. has a lot of power. He does know that. But he, at the same time, he knows we're on edge with it, and he enjoys that and so forth. So seeing the Pleasure card, there's a little bit of a sadist in there, okay? That he enjoys things being tense like this right now. Okay, so that's a little bit of a scary card, to kind of see this when I'm looking, with something like this, that wow, that somebody's actually taking pleasure in putting the entire planet, with eyes on them going, oh my God, what if something happens? Okay. Okay. So what is a crossing card? Crossing card is a tower. Okay. So that's not a card that we want to see, but that is Mars. Okay. This is the Mars planet card. And that is the opposition one. And so that does make me feel something's probably going to break out here. Okay. It's just a matter of time. And it's the opposing card because we know it would be very catastrophic and so forth. And, but it's there. Okay. And that's what we don't want that. This is the Mars card, which can be a symbol. And of course, with the tower and so forth, crumbling down, and everything, toppling everything. But whose tower is going to come down, right? Okay. Ultimately, in the end there, probably a lot of them. Okay. So let's kind of look here. Yeah, we've got at the foundation, we've got the change card. Now, I'm hoping, as this is a Jupiter and Capricorn card, that, somehow we could get some kind of positive change in this. Because Jupiter can be positive for me, but we need to be prepared that change is coming. So it really depends, if it could go, positive. I mean, I know no matter what, anytime I'm looking at the drama that is going on and circulating in the world, that we're going to the new earth no matter what. So don't, when you see all this going on, keep eyes on that. It's really important. But I do got the change card coming there. Okay, so let's kind of look at that. And then we've got the Ace of Wands. So that is about, and that's coming up immediate future. That is about opportunity. Okay, so that makes me feel that he's waiting for an opportunity to strike. We know that. Okay, and one of the things I think I was watching some of the YouTubes and some things in the news on that they're going to try to make it, I feel like they're trying to make it look or something to get Ukraine to do something first so they could go in and say, oh, well, we did it because of this, that kind of thing. But they're waiting for a certain opportunity there, the perfect moment there. Okay, I do notice that Ace of Wands is there in the immediate future, which makes me feel they're probably going to take the opportunity. Okay. In looking at the Lovers card, as I'm doing a political read like that, what this makes me feel is there is, they have their own allies, their own partner. Russia has their own allies, just as U.S. has their own allies. So I feel he's also kind of talking to people, of course, working with people to back up some stuff here. Okay, I look at those alliances. That is also very concerning. Like China maybe, and things like that. Certain alliances kind of working on. And as you can see kind of in the Lovers card, See the little ones down here kind of, it looks like they're shaking hands and everything, making like an alliance there with the people. So I feel if something goes in, others go in, but I'm a little concerned, will China get involved or something like that, okay? Just kind of feeling that. But that Lovers makes me feel a powerful ally coming out, okay? If this opportunity is taken. I'm going to pull clarifier for that one. So I do have here, I have the Empress, and I also have the Eight of Pentacles showing there. And so the Eight of Pentacles, that is a very much, the hard part about this card, it is about especially mastering the craft and working hard. But a lot of times it's also for me about doing the same thing over and over. Okay, and that is definitely a concern that, just these repeats of wars after wars after wars. I'm doing the same thing over and over as a solution. As I see as a solution. My spirit really getting tired of it. But I look at the Empress energy. I'm taking this more of an energy. In the sense of trying to get to a peaceful place, of trying to show some compassion, and some humanity, and trying to get people there to, I feel that this is what Spirit wants, is hopefully we can avoid this whole fiasco here. And if they, getting others to kind of see, with compassion, others, is the goal, of course. And that's what Spirit wants. And I believe that's the reason why they're bringing the Empress in here, this kind of energy, more of the feminine. Instead of going for the masculine, the Mars, the Tower, this is what Spirit wants. This is the goal here, is that more that Venus, that love, because that's what Venus represents here, to try to balance this out, is what we're hoping for. Instead of doing the same thing over and over again, the way they've been doing things. And I knew I was going to pull the Emperor here. Okay, so we've got the Emperor here. That makes me feel Putin as I'm reading Russia, and it sits right next to the Empress and everything. So, I'm hoping that, like, the Spirit kind of brings in some of this Venus energy to counteract that heavy Aries god of war energy there. But, the Emperor is the god of war. Okay, all right, and that is popping up. So knowing that, and especially having the Tower and the opportunity, is very concerning. I do have a Success card in the environment. Okay, so one of the things about that is very concerning. Okay, I'm going to play If at the moment, as I'm still kind of reading and I'm not quite at the outcome yet. But what it kind of makes me feel is if Putin decides to go in Ukraine, he could potentially be successful at taking it. Okay, and I believe that's the reason why the Success card is showing right above him. Okay, so that is the nerve-wracking part of it, because he's got so many troops over there and everything. Now, does it mean he could keep it? Okay, that's another story. Okay, but if he went in, he could potentially go in there. And let's look at the outcome card. Victory. Yuck. So, yeah, and see, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's some nerve-wracking stuff, guys. Okay, that's some nerve-wracking stuff, is a victory card. And so, I mean, it doesn't look good, okay, that if he decides to go in Ukraine, I've got the Success card and I've got the victory card and the outcome, that he would be able to take it. So it would be a mess. It would be a mess and stuff. And that's the hard part. There's obviously a lot of people would try to stop it and things like that and stuff, but it looks like that's what I'm getting. Okay, So that's really scary. Now let me pull a few cards. Let me put it back down. I just want to kind of look at, that's the thing. But I want to look at the US. The US, I get the futility card. I hate to say that. The futility card, when I see that in this layout, that could be obviously some kind of failure and so forth. That trying to stop it, if he does, okay, then it's going to be futile to stop it. So some of this and everything, and I've got the Prince of Cups. I feel that is to represent, like, the U.S. and so forth. And I've also got the Queen of Swords popping in here, which makes me feel another entity and ally could potentially even, maybe even be like Britain or something popping in here. But with that futility card, it would be really hard to stop it. Maybe, and sometimes I have to look and I have to yield at some things here, and I'll talk to you about it. Just being real. That when it comes to things like this, big stuff, there's certain little places on the chessboard Spirit may allow for certain things to be fulfilled. Okay, it's one thing I'm aware of and stuff. So, but like I said, we got to kind of watch everything. This is a time to be very watchful, with what is going on. Now, the good thing, if anybody's worried about would the U.S., over here be defeated, okay, they're not talking about going to here. They're talking about going over there. I'm talking about if they go in there. Okay, it's just be a whoop, it's not gonna be difficult. Okay, and that's the thing. And so being able to stop it and so forth, and I feel, especially since he's surrounded with so many troops, it's a tinderbox. But if they decide they're gonna go in, they've got the success card and they've got the victory and the outcome, that they would easily take it. So that is not looking good. I know you guys don't want to hear that. But it's like I said, as far as them here or something with us, that is not showing here. And so, but the U.S. being able to stop it, I actually feel I feel like I feel like this would be happen so fast they could hardly get everybody over there to do it, and that is the hard part. So let's pray that maybe, Spirit will soften his heart so he doesn't do this. But of course, seeing that Emperor card, whom is the god of war, that's, I don't know, but we can always pray. We want the best. We don't want things like this to happen. But it is a little nerve-wracking what I'm seeing here. But I'm being real with you because I know some of you want to know what's going. So we got to brace ourselves. We got to do a lot of light worker prayer. Okay, we got to do a lot of light worker prayer, and things like that, and definitely brace ourselves for it. Okay, so that's, poor little, Ukraine. And so now I'm going to go into the Ottawa truckers. So we're going to kind of look at that and kind of see what's going on. So much tension everywhere. That's why I knew I had to kind of get on and, kind of look at some stuff. But just always know that when in any tarot reading, pretty much, an outcome, Spirit's in control, right? Outcomes can be altered, especially if Spirit wants to interfere. So always remember that, okay? But I'm saying if everything goes and there's no interfere type thing, that's the outcome. Okay, so we're going to look at Ottawa truckers, what's going on. I know it's a very controversial thing, with the vaccination and all that, and we could, we may have something like that happen in the U.S., because a lot of people are, frustrated here too, but they're really frustrated there. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, Ottawa truckers, let's see what we've got there. So the Four of Cups this is a luxury card, but the Four of Cups also is the card that normally shows the man kind of sitting under the tree, and he's being made an offering. He's being made an offer of the Ace of Cups, and he's kind of meditating on the three, which very often I see is the good times. You know, the way he wanted. He's got his arms folded, and he's shrugging off the cup. So I feel one of the things that this is kind of the truckers that are ignoring any kind of peace offering type of things, or deals to get out of there. That they're ignoring it, and they're there, and they're going to do it as long as it takes until they get their way. Okay, that's what they want. It's like, no, this is what we want. We want all the mandates just stopped. You know, or we're going to just keep doing this. Okay, so that's more of them pushing away all these offerings. You know, they've got their arms folded. They're just shrugging it off. They're not listening to it. Okay. And so the opposing card is the Works card, which is the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is teamwork. Okay? Teamwork. And these, the truckers are very united. But it's not just even the truckers are united. There are also a lot of people in support of them. Obviously, they've been donating to GoFundMe. I think there was some kind of fiasco where they shut down the GoFundMe and all this, and then they were going to give money back. I'm not sure if they resolved their funding with the GoFundMe. I'm not sure what happened with that. But they're working as a team here. Okay? And that's what the Works card is, especially working together towards some kind of goal or project, trying to fulfill something. And that's the thing, when you've got power in numbers, it's real hard. It's real hard to deal with. Okay, and that is the opposing card. And so we've got that. So we've got kind of, you know, the government's trying to negotiate, kind of work something out, you know, and everything, but they're not doing what they want, which is just shut down the mandate. Now, what you guys need to understand, I'm gonna pull you up here a little bit, is, you know, governments don't like to give in to protests. Okay, they say, yes, you could protest, you could do this, you could legally, you know, and stuff like that. But this is kind of a major disruption. They're taking it a little far, okay, because they're, you know, businesses and be able to operate, people be able to drive. But let me shift because I'm getting sore. I do this all the time. Okay, so but one of the things about this, you know, is governments do not like to give in to protester demands. Okay, so I feel like they're kind of in a rock and a hard place. It's like if they give in to the demands of what, you know, the protesters want, and what a lot of the public wants, because a lot of the people in Canada want these mandates dropped. Okay, if they give in, okay, then it makes the government look like they have no power. Okay, so this is the hard part there, you know. So they either, you know, they give in, and they just drop it, so everybody could go back to business and back to some new normal. Okay, do they do that or whatnot? So let's look at that and see what they're going to do, though. But I know that they don't want to do that, because then it makes it look like they have no power, right? I do have the Sun card. The Sun sometimes can point me to a time period. I do look at that, and especially a happy time. So that's kind of making me feel some of this is probably not going to get resolved, possibly even till spring. I feel these protests could go on. Okay, so let me pull a bottom card there. And I've got the Virtue card here, which is a Three of Wands. That's the ship comes in, the moment arrives, and everything like that. Their moment is here. So this makes me feel, with that, I feel, you know, the truckers aren't bad people. Okay, I don't feel they're bad people or anything like that. They just really believe in this cause and so forth. You know, that these mandates are really hurting everything and everyone, you know, and they're just, you know, so I understand them. They have the right to protest and everything. So I think we want to remember that they're not bad people and stuff, you know, but they're obviously, you know, affecting other businesses and ways of life is not necessarily a good thing to do there, though. I see that's what I'm talking about, the Eight of Pentacles, work situations, okay, work and employment. This is also affecting other people's jobs, other people's employment. And I'm sure, when some of these truckers probably aren't even getting paid, doing all this stuff. So, and that's one of the things. And then we've got the Lovers card. So the Lovers makes me feel also like we were talking in the last read. Some alliances here. This actually makes me feel not that it's a total love relationship, but with the U.S. and Canada, I feel like the U.S. is really watching Canada and what's going on with these truckers. And I feel like the U.S. might be even a little fearful that some people might even get some ideas from these guys. Okay, because so they're really watching this, with this relationship and so forth, both U.S. and Canada, how this all resolves, because whatever kind of happens in Canada could potentially happen here. Well, we got change coming, so change is about to come. That's at the Crown, okay. But I do got that Ruin card. Interesting. Okay, so this is a little bit concerning here. Okay, this is a little bit concerning to get the Ruin card, which is the Ten of Swords, kind of stab in the back. That makes me feel that potentially that some, I know they're starting to crack down and make arrests and things like that. I'm worried if something could get real ugly. Okay, that over the next, few weeks or so with these guys, because they're not going away, and everything like that. Something could potentially get ugly with police and enforcement and trying to get them to stop. So I'm a little concerned about that Ruin card. So we're going to have to keep all eyes on that. Is something going to go too far? Could something get violent even with that? That is a potential possibility here. That something could get dark. So I'm a little worried about that for the truckers. Yeah, and we've got the Strife card in the 7th position there, which really represents their position and what they're about here. So with, the conflict, and they're trying to drudge up conflict and everything, because obviously they're trying to get their way. This is what they want, is they want this change. They're willing to stay for the long haul and everything like that. But yeah, I'm very concerned with that Ruin card there and stuff. But I've got that opportunity card is popping up there in the environment. I see that makes me feel like some opportunity may present itself. Actually, I feel like an opportunity will present itself maybe for a discussion. Now, I'm not sure if there has to be some kind of leader, somebody kind of in charge of this movement or something. And I feel like there may be a point where they can kind of sit down and have a discussion and take the opportunity. But let's go ahead and look at that. Yeah, I feel there may be some kind of meetup with somebody who's ever kind of in charge of it. But then I've got the 8 of Cups next to it, which makes me feel we may have a discussion and a talk about it and everything like that. But then there's a walking away. There's a walking away moment after this discussion. But is there going to be a complete pulling away of all the truckers? Maybe. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at the outcome. Outcome is strength. Outcome is strength, man. So a few things I'm getting through this. Okay. Straighten you guys out. Sorry, it's a long night. Okay, so a few things I'm getting kind of here and stuff is, I'm ending with strength. And definitely what it's kind of coming down to is who's got the power here, who's got the real strength here. And obviously they do, but they can't make the laws, themselves or anything, but they can really motivate for some change here. I do feel some opportunity, like maybe there's a sit-down discussion with some people that we try to be rational and work out some kind of thing here. I feel we try to do that, but then I feel this walking away. But that Ruin card, it kind of concerns me there. Obviously, we talked about the 8 of Pentacles, businesses being impacted. We talked about that and stuff. And I feel like that there could get something potentially drastic out there, that some kind of action where somebody could potentially get hurt. I'm a little worried about that. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that. But with that, as I know the Ten of Swords can be brutal. Okay, that is a possibility. Let me even pull a clarifier on that to look at that. Yeah, and then I've got the Princess of Swords, which does make me feel, as that's my news or communication, that I feel like something may potentially happen that is a little bit brutal, and then it gets to the news and it sparks something. Okay, so that's the only thing. Because sometimes when people like they get real frustrated, like this has got to come to an end, that there's something may get a little brutal there. Okay, with police force or National Guard or whatever they've got over there. I know things are a little different in Canada, but that strength card is very interesting and stuff. And see, that's the thing. I mean, I feel if the truckers do stay united, and with all that, they could potentially make some change. Now, let me kind of look. I'm just going to throw a few cards down, focusing on will they actually change the mandates there. Yeah, I think the truckers started about January, and that was during about the month of Capricorn. I've got the Queen of Pentacles here, which can represent my Pentacles, or Capricorn. Okay, then I do have the Temperance card in the middle, but then I also have the Empress card here. It's probably going to take a while as I've got that Temperance card, but they could possibly make some mandate changes. I would say is possibly even I'm kind of figuring it might be the month of Taurus, is actually when they actually lift some of this. Now, is the truckers going to continue that long? And that I don't. Oh, I don't. I hope not. I hope it doesn't go that long because that would be very crazy and stuff. But it is a possibility because I am indeed with the Empress, which points me. Oh, wait a minute. No, no, no. Taurus is Hierophant. I've got the Venus in my mind though. I've got Venus in my mind. Actually, I'm going to stay with that. I'm going to stay with that because Venus does rule Taurus, and hold on a second. Yeah, I'm actually feeling there's going to be something like that. Ten of Swords is really sticking with me. That there's going to be some kind of moment that's going to pop up. That's I feel is going to get heated. That's what I'm concerned about. That even could be a little bit violent and stuff, and that may try to change the tune. Like I feel like some people think, the truck protests, for those who believe in them, are all on board with that. But it's also there's a lot of tension there and everything, and people so anxious to get all that stopped and get back to business. But there are people who are ready for the long haul to just to keep this going until they get their way and stuff. And that's where the pressure is gonna come in, is my concern. Now let's kind of look at what Spirit has to say as we read a couple very tense situations that I know some people want to look at. I'm gonna kind of pull from like some good angel messages to lighten it up and everything. So what really Spirit has to say on some of these challenges here. Get you guys a good read. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope with these things, okay? Yeah, so we pull, I'm doing the Archangel deck. I'm going to translate them. So when you see the angel names, I'm translating the tarot to make it simpler. So I've got the Five of Cups here. And the funny thing about this card, the very first line is I'm kind of looking at the spirit message as we're dealing with some of this little bit of drama that is going on right now in the world. Obviously, Russia is the big one, a lot of people concerned. Everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace the opportunities for happiness. Search for the silver lining. I know it's super hard to search for a silver lining when we got this drama going on. oh my God, there's COVID, there's Russia, there's this, that. Oh my God. And so that's what the very first line though, everything happens for a reason and stuff. Yes, I know it's ridiculous that human beings resort to crazy things. But just remember God is in control. That there is something going on here. Okay, there is a bigger picture that can be very hard to understand and explain. So just trust the Spirit during this time. And let's pull another card. And that's one of the things the Five of Cups is. It can be the Widow card. There could be some losses that pop up. But what is, the silver lining? Now I look at the Ten of Pentacles card that is popping up below. I feel like what Spirit is saying, it is the Wealth card. So Spirit knows very well. A lot of all this craziness with governments and, people trying to take territory, which taking territories and things like that, that's as old as time. That's even biblical, right? And then a lot of it has to do with wealth and power and all that. And so I feel like Spirit is like, as you see all this going on, don't fall into that. Know what is most important in life and everything. That a lot of people are very much, material oriented. And Spirit really wants us to get away from that. They're trying to get us to change that. They're trying to get us to be Spirit oriented and so forth, and look for the things that are most important in life. Obviously love is one, loving others, giving to others, not just trying to accumulate. So the other message is the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is the heavy burden card, and in this one it's a little bit different. We see it looks like Cinderella in the basement. She's got a lot to clean up. Okay, so one of the things it says is ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load. So Spirit knows you guys, you have your own, interpersonal problems. You have your own load on you and stuff and everything. And I feel like Spirit, one of the things they're saying is, I know you see all this dramatic stuff going on in the world and you see governments and people and all this craziness. But for now, you can only focus on your load. Okay, is what the Spirit is saying. Your interpersonal load. So, give it to God. That's what prayers are for. Okay, we do our best at everything, but we're just focus on your own load right now. Don't overwhelm yourself. When you're seeing this craziness in the world, don't let it crush you. Okay, give it to God. They are in charge. Just concern yourself with your own load and stuff and how you can lighten that load yourself and stuff. And even when there's such big things going on, another thing I've learned is that don't think that Spirit does not pay attention to you. Okay, I want you guys all to remember, anybody that's watching, Spirit is individually paying attention to all of you and cares about your needs and what needs to be taken care of. Okay, so never think you're not important enough. And the card above is strength. So we were kind of talking about that strength and stuff. And so just be strong during this time, which is really important. And this is, of course, the one with the angel and the lion and so forth. And also just know that Spirit will be a source of strength for you as well, to get through this year especially. Can we make it through 2022? There's a lot going on. And the final card, and we're about to wrap this up. And the Sun. Well, that's a good one. And really a lot, Spirit wants us to be happy and enjoy life. But no matter what, I also feel with the Sun card is this is the happy card, right? Keep your eyes on the light. Okay, keep your eyes on the light at all times. So even when you're seeing all these dark things and dark periods, keep your eyes on the light at all times. No matter what, we're going to have that new earth inevitably. No matter whoever tries to stop it, they're not going to be able to stop it. We're going to have that. And just even like, just like the card says, thrive through the power of positive thinking. Also, do not think that people's prayers do not work, because they do. Okay, so we want to, keep our prayers going, keep that communication, keep that connection going and everything like that. Just remember who's in charge, even no matter when you're seeing all this stuff. Everything is leading to the new earth. So crumbling, people trying to do old things old way and stuff like that. So, and like I said, when I did the one read, don't get too concerned with the outcomes, okay? Because you don't, if Spirit wants to stop all this, that, whatever, they will, okay? And stuff. It's a very tentative, and also, and that's why I say pray. Maybe will Spirit soften his heart? Maybe he'll be like, maybe this isn't a good move. Who knows what he'll do? But just the way it's looking, that right now is most likely outcome. But nothing is ever a set in stone, especially a situation like that, fixed outcome. But it is if everything goes the way it is at the moment. I'm looking at the intent of the person. Okay, that is where it could go. Okay, so let's hope that maybe if Biden and Putin could sit down and have a heart to heart and everything, maybe we could do something. But looking at kind of the intent, the pleasure card is concerning. The very first card, the pleasure card is concerning. Like they're enjoying this. They're enjoying this. That's really freaky. Okay, so that's the way some people are. So just pray, guys. Pray for the best, and I hope you enjoy my read.